A new director of football is on his way in. What is happening, guys? It's your boy TC back with another video. So it's episode 3 of season 2 of the Daily Gunners Talk, and in today's episode we will be discussing the new supposed incoming director of football, as well as the fact that Wenger has confirmed that Mesut Ozil and Alexis Sanchez will be staying beyond the 1st of February. So as mentioned, the first story we will be discussing will be in regards to the supposed incoming footballing director from Barcelona, and his name is Raul Sanllehi. So this is an individual who's very renowned in the footballing world in terms of securing major talents for Barcelona in particular. He has been at Barcelona for the last 15 years, and he's been very instrumental in terms of bringing in very huge talent for them, namely Luis Suarez. He was also involved in the Neymar deal, as well as most recent one in the form of Ousmane Dembele from Dortmund. So he is an individual that's known for securing huge talents, and he supposedly actually handed in his resignation at Barcelona, and he's due to join Arsenal in the next coming weeks or so. So it looks like Wenger is actually putting measures in place to prepare for his departure. We all know that he recently signed a 2-year contract, which obviously has 1.5 years remaining on it. But we all know that Wenger also resisted in the past in terms of actually having a footballing director working alongside him. But when he signed his new contract, apparently the deal or the clause that was inserted into his contract was for him to actually go out and actually source a footballing director, someone who will go out and actually deal with the transfers directly and identify the talent that is required by the club. We all know that Wenger has always wanted to be part of the transfers. He's always wanted to be in charge of all the processes in terms of identifying players, going out and negotiating for these players. We saw him in the summer with Ivan Gazidis whilst they were out in France to try and secure, it was most likely the Lacazette deal. But it seems as if the tables are finally turning, and we will be having a footballing director put in place. We also had recently Mislintat, who was the individual, the scout, the top scout or the head scout, who was touted from Borussia Dortmund. He has obviously joined as well recently, and we had some other individuals come in during the summer, in particular the guy who came from Team Sky, the cycling team, and another individual that came in terms of contract negotiations. So it looks like preparations are finally in place or are underway in terms of actually preparing for Wenger's departure, and to me this is absolutely refreshing. Hopefully this man can come in, Raul Sanllehi can come in and help us secure some top talent in the coming years. Of course, if we want to compete with the biggest clubs across Europe, we will need someone who's very good at going out there and actually identifying and negotiating for huge talent to join the club. Arsenal's profile within Europe itself within the recent years has obviously diminished. It has got less. So hopefully this is the guy who can come back, kickstart the rebuild of the club, I should say, and hopefully Wenger will leave and the club will be in a very stable status. So fingers crossed this will work out for us. Moving forward, and as mentioned, the story, the second story within this episode will also tie in to what I will be discussing within this second story. So Wenger has been undertaking a press conference ahead of the Huddersfield game at home at the Emirates tomorrow, and that's on Wednesday evening at 19:45. And he was definitely asked the question of, do you see Mesut Ozil and Alexis Sanchez remaining at the club beyond the 1st of February? And he answered, of course. And he basically said that with very high confidence. He seemed certain. So I'm hoping that Raul Sanllehi, who will be coming in as the supposed footballing director, will come in and nail these two players down. Of course, Sanchez will certainly have a history with Sanllehi from Barcelona, purely because he's been there for 15 years. And obviously Alexis Sanchez has played at Barcelona during the reign of Sanllehi as the director of football. So he's most likely going to be familiar with Alexis Sanchez, or them two will be familiar with each other. Hopefully that is the catalyst or the missing element that will be required to convince Alexis Sanchez to sign a new contract, as well as Mesut Ozil. Obviously in recent weeks reports have surfaced within the media itself suggesting that Ozil is headed for Barcelona. He's also recently been ruled out for the last 2 games within the league. I'm not too sure if he's going to be back tomorrow for the Huddersfield game, but as far as I'm aware, he's still off and an assessment is due to be made, which was a bit peculiar, and other fans were starting to question, is he on his way out? So hopefully this man that is going to be coming in, Raul Sanllehi, will actually nail them down, these 2 players, because in terms of moving forward, if we want to progress as a club, I believe we should not lose these 2 players. Of course, if they don't want to sign new contract, and if it's going to be established by January, why not sell them? Not for a loss. Obviously, we don't want them signing for free to any other club. Why not sell them in January for a fee and get rid of them? However, as mentioned, if we do want to move forward, if we do want to progress within Europe and challenge for titles, then these 2 players will be very, very instrumental. I understand that their ages in terms of their playing time is slightly limited now in comparison to other targets that are out there, but in the meantime, they do know how the club functions, how the team plays, and what is definitely expected of them. So they do understand what is required at Arsenal in terms of playing a big role within the team itself. So fingers crossed, this matter will be done and dusted and settled. My nightmare would be losing them for free within the summer. It basically will be an absolute nightmare. They will probably end up, and most likely end up, with other Premier League teams. We've seen it happen in the past with Robin van Persie, so fingers crossed we're not going to have a situation like that at all hands in the summer. So just a quick recap within this episode, we've obviously discussed the supposed incoming director of football, Raul Sanllehi. We've also discussed the comments made by Arsene Wenger within the press conference ahead of the Huddersfield game, and that was in regards to Mesut Ozil and Alexis Sanchez staying beyond February the 1st, 2018. So as usual, guys, please do let me know what you think in the comments below. If you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to the channel, please do make sure that you do hit that subscribe button. Also make sure that you hit the like button on this video. Once again, guys, it's your boy TC from I'm Gonna Talk TV, and I'm out.